Always great catching up with my next guest. Pat Sabatini's back in action. Big fight here. Jonathan Pearce, UFC Fight Night, October 12th. We're exactly a month away. Pat, how's it going, man?
It's going great. Camp's going great. And I'm very excited for this fight.
Yeah, and it's good to see you back in the cage. I know you've done a few grappling matches in between your last fight. Was that just like difficulty getting opponents? Like what happened there? Because I figured we would have seen you back a bit sooner.
So I had an injury that took me out of my bout with the Atlantic City card.
Yeah.
I had to get a surgery, but we're all healed up and everything. And, been itching to get back out there, man.
Yeah, and at least you got those grappling fights too, still keeping active, still, part of competition. Never fun to talk about a loss, but we'll quickly mention the Diego Lopes fight. Like, what did you take away the most from that? Obviously, Lopes, time of recording this, big fight for him against Brian Ortega on Saturday.
Of course, man. I think the last, where are we at? Last three fights, I feel like I walked into that cage as different people almost. I feel like I let this kind of get in the way of a lot of things. Didn't have the best camps, not making any excuses. Diego Lopes is a beast. I think he's going to win this weekend. But one thing I do want to reflect on in this interview is I think I really turned a corner with working with a sports psychologist.
Nice.
I
okay.
feel like it's made big strides just in my life in general. So I'm really excited to showcase what I've been working on. And yeah, man, I'm excited.
Yeah, a lot of fighters use them. I remember George St. Pierre. He was famously known for getting a sports psychologist, and he ended up, I think, winning all of his fights after that happened. So it's basically been since the last fight. Then you've been working with a sports psychologist
since March.
Okay, awesome. Sounds good. Let's talk about Jonathan Pearce. Exciting fighter. I mean, you got to like the style matchup here. How do you feel like your skill set matches up against his?
Man, he's had a good run in the UFC thus far, but now is my time to take over. I think I could do everything better than him.
Okay, there we go. And a little bit of a storyline here, if we want to, take a little page out of pro wrestling. Sean Brady, your teammate, defeated Kelvin Gastelum, who I know is part of that camp. Jonathan Pearce, also from that camp. Is that something you're even aware of, kind of going into this?
No, I had no idea until you just told me.
Yeah, well, that's kind of a cool angle here. I know, I know it's always fun to take out another teammate and do team versus team. Remember they did that one season of The Ultimate Fighter, it was Black Zillions against American Top Team. I always found that kind of interesting. Seeing two teams go toe to toe. Take me through camp a little bit. Actually, before we do that, how about Sean Brady? What a win that was last weekend over Gilbert Burns.
Man, he just rose to the occasion. He's always had that skill set, I believe. But man, is just the tip of the iceberg. I see him being the champion in no time at all, man. Seriously.
Yeah. And I think too, Bilal Muhammad winning the title, I mean, that made that loss that he had look even better. I remember people were so down on him for that. And it's fighters lose. I feel like a lot of the newer fans now, they have such high expectations for fighters. He can never lose a fight, he can never lose a round. But I love how Sean has rebounded since then, the Gastelum win and now Gilbert Burns, pretty incredible. And that must feed off in the gym too, when you see Sean go out there and get a big win in the main event like that.
Oh, absolutely, man. I think at this level of this sport, it's more, the skill set is so high all around, especially when you get to that top level. But I just think it's more about who shows up on that particular day.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Training camp, who've been some of the main guys you've been working with that are helping you get ready? I mean, you've still got some time, but who've been some of the main guys you're working with?
Man, I've been training pretty consistently since May. I've been training with this guy. I actually don't even know his last name. I know his first name is Anatoly.
Well, we can find him, I'm sure.
He's a 6'2" Ukrainian lightweight. He's, I think, 10-1, I believe.
Okay.
Man, we get some great rounds in. It's been some great work. And I really love training with him, and I'm excited to see what's next for him.
And what do you think it says about your gym? I brought this up a lot with your teammates that there's so many fighters coming to your gym. It's sort of been a hotbed for fighters to come and cross train or work. And I know, when you guys started, it was sort of a small group of you, but now it seems like a lot of people know that this is a great place to train and get some quality work in.
Yeah, man, there's been a big influx of people from Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Georgia, now Ukraine. It's become a multinational kind of gym. It's great though. Everyone feeds off of each other's energy. Even though there's a lot more people coming to the gym, we still got like that family, tight knit, close group thing going on still.
Yeah, well said. Your corner, speaking of that, who's going to be in the cage with you for this fight?
So I got John Marquez, Jonathan Webb, and newest addition is going to be Eddie Torres. He owns Team Taino Mixed Martial Arts, who I also train under. He's been a teammate of mine for years. He's got a wealth of knowledge, wealth of experience, and now he's a coach and a training partner.
Cool. Sounds good. And I mentioned sort of the layoff. Obviously, you had the competitions as well, but is it harder to cut weight when you've been under the cage so long? I know you've been training, but dieting and training and preparing for a fight are a little bit different, right?
Yeah, that's true. But I've been, crossing my T's, dotting my I's, even outside of camp, keep my weight under control in case an opportunity slides my way, and I got to jump on it.
How do you see this fight playing out on October 12th? How do you see it going down?
I see it going with me winning for sure. I could see a finish coming probably. I don't know what round, I don't know how, but whatever it takes, I'm going to get that job done because I've worked hard for it.
Do you have a couple more fights left in your contract, or what's sort of the latest with that?
I believe this is my first one on.
Oh, you got a new contract. Nice.
Yeah. Back in, when was it? I believe December or January.
Okay, so that was after the Lopez fight. You got the contract then, or was it before?
After.
So that's got to be cool that you came off a loss and they still wanted to invest in you and keep you around. You got to be feeling good about that the promotion's backing you like this, right?
Absolutely, man. I'm really blessed to be part of this organization. Dana White, Sean Shelby, they're really helping me live my dream and giving me the opportunities to make a living out of this. And for that, I'm forever grateful.
Do you have management, or you just deal with the UFC by yourself?
No, I have a manager, Rob Haydak.
I know Rob. Yeah, from CFFC.
CFFC.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. That makes sense though. You're like a lifelong CFFC guy, so that's pretty cool. As far as your division and everything, are you a guy that keeps an eye on what's going on, or are you more like, hey, I'll deal with it when I have to fight the guy type thing? Do you pay attention to what's happening in the rankings and all that?
I pay a little bit of attention, but I am very big on taking one fight at a time. I don't want to focus and spread my focus out too broadly. I like to, when I have a fight, all that matters is that fight, and then afterwards we could talk what's next.
For sure. Do you think Conor McGregor fights again? That's one of the big questions. We're still waiting for him to have a fight with Michael Chandler.
I think, honestly, maybe early next year I could see that happening, but I know it's been pushed off a bit. But I do think he'll return, to be honest with you. Okay,
let's talk about fishing. How was the fishing season? Is it still on? I don't even know right now. What's have you been catching anything good out there on the boat?
I've been going off the beach a lot, surf fishing. I haven't done any freshwater fishing for a long time because the salt water's just been on lately. Bluefish. I caught my first Spanish mackerel a couple weeks ago, which was cool. Yeah, you get a lot of the pelagic fish that come closer to shore this time of year, so it's a lot of fun, man.
What's surf fishing like? You're actually like on in the water on a surfboard and you have the rod out, or how does that work?
So no surfboard involved. No, just fishing off the beach. They call it surf fishing.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say that seems pretty hard to try and fish on a surfboard. That would be kind of tough. So
I don't know, man. You might be giving me some ideas here.
There you go. That's the next Olympic sports, surfing and trying to fish at the same time. That makes sense. Do you do any outdoor stuff like camping or anything in the summer too, or is it just mainly just fishing?
So I've never done camping. I do want to.
You've never camped before, really?
No.
Really?
I
big
never
outdoor,
had.
a guy who likes fishing. It seems like they go hand in hand in a little bit. But yeah, that's interesting.
I gotta expand my horizons. I definitely gotta, give that a whirl. But man, I just like being on the beach the most, honestly, especially in the summer, especially when the weather's this nice. I get down there, try to get down there every weekend, man, just to, chill out, have some fun, fish. It's great.
Do you do any fishing trips where you'll go away for a few days, or is it just too tough with your schedule?
No, I do. I'm trying to get one together to see one of my good friends down in Florida after this fight for a couple days. He lives in Stuart, Florida,
Okay.
and he has a boat. He takes people out for snook. He's very knowledgeable. You know, that would be definitely something I want to do in the future. But I've been on a couple trips like down to the Panhandle for redfish. Fished in Aruba before, got into all kinds of neat stuff there. Florida Keys. You know, I try to get around with the fishing.
That's great. Do you think if they were to do a pound for pound list, you know, we always hear about John Jones and the pound for pound list. Do you think you would be on the pound for pound list for fishing? Because like you got some competition. I know McGregor fishes a bit. We got Bryce Mitchell, Gregor Gillespie when he used to fight. He was a big fisherman. Is there any? How would you put your skills up against some of the other fighters?
Man, I would like to have a fish off.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. You just your audio just went out. One sec. Let me just see if I can fix it. Let's see here. 1 second. Try check your audio. Just I'm assuming you can still hear me or no? Can you? Oh
yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, for some reason you just cut off. So yeah, you were just saying I want to do a fish off and then kind of finish it from there.
Yeah, man, I would love to do a fish off. You know, fish with some of these guys. You know, it would be a really good time. You know, get out there and you know, it's nothing like fishing, bro.
Yeah,
really,
it's like therapeutic, isn't it? Too, like just to get out of the, get out of the way and just kind of. I was just talking to Steve Garcia. He's in your division. He's got a fishing trip planned out in Idaho, and he was just telling me how great it was. Where it's like, you're on the lake, you're just, going out there on the ocean. I don't know where he's fishing exactly, but you're out there with like he was talking about the sunflower seeds and just sitting eating and fishing as well. Do you have any accessories when you fish, or is it just mainly just sitting out there with the rod?
My speaker. Definitely my speaker. Sometimes too, I'll take a couple casts, especially on the beach. I'll be like, you know what? I'm gonna put this rod down a little bit and just vibe out to some music. You know, it's just catching fish is a bonus. Catching some good vibes, some sun is what it's all about. Honestly,
What's on the playlist though? Are you a country music guy, or what do you like listening to?
So I am all over the place with music, except I'm not too big into country music. I like reggae. I like 80s. I like rock. I like bachata. I like everything, honestly.
Except country, which is interesting. I didn't like country because my dad used to listen to it growing up, but now I have like, I don't know. I find when you listen to country and you're like outside, it feels like you're like more at like, I don't know, like cottage country or something. But I can understand that. 80s music though. When I'm in the car, if I'm not listening to sports talk, I always have the 80s channel on because it's just the best era for music, I think. One of the best.
Oh, absolutely, man. I really think I was born in the wrong era, man. My favorite TV show is Miami Vice. I'm always listening to 80s music. Yeah,
there you go. Do you own any white suits?
I actually do.
Okay, I like it. You gotta get the purple shades to go with
summer.
it. Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, Pat, thanks for doing this, man. I really appreciate it. I know you got a lot going on. If there's anyone you want to thank before we get out of here, any sponsors, any social media, as always, I'll give you the last word.
Social media, Patrick Sabatini _MMA. Give me a follow. And, just want to shout out to my gyms, Web Fitness MMA, Marquez MMA, and Team Taino MMA, and Pursuit Strength and Conditioning.